Your feeling is the magnet. Whatever is in your life right now that is the dominant feeling inside of you that continues to attract to you that same old situation. When you become aware of it, that is when you can start to change it. This video is going to help show you where that feeling is coming from, how to let go of it and step into the feeling that will magnetize and attract the life you really want and the one you really deserve. The mission of this channel is to help empower you through self-awareness, because the more you know, the more you can actually grow. If you watch until the end of this video, you're going to uncover why you've been attached to those old feelings, how to let them go, and ultimately how you can start cultivating that new feeling that's going to draw to you the life you really love. So let's get started. We're going to use Dr. Joe Dispenza, his idea that your electromagnetic signature is literally what you're getting a reflection of. The electrical parts are the thoughts. Okay, you can change your thoughts, and yet your outside world still changes, because the dominant thing, and according to Neville Goddard, the feeling aspect of all of your efforts is the secret. Why? Because whatever you're feeling is what is basically you're putting in as fuel to your magnet. You can magnetize whatever it is that you want. However, you have to be aware of what fuel you're putting in it. So you could have a past of rejection and abandonment. You could be feeling that you're not enough. So deep unconscious, even though superficially you're trying to override it, you're trying to say, no, I know I'm good enough. I feel I'm good enough. I deserve this. But deep down inside your body, which is your unconscious, is saying, no. Remember that thing that happened a long time ago. I am going to relate myself to that, and I'm going to emotionally and energetically still be connected to it. This is a preservation mechanism, meaning that really part of you loves you so much that it wants you to stay away from any pain, any kind of heartbreak, especially if you've had a past with it. So when it comes to love, if you've had rejection or your family early on, you felt like they didn't meet your needs because you wanted to connect and maybe they were too busy, there was not quite enough love and connection for you, you could feel, oh, the reason that happened was because I'm not enough. My caregivers would have given that to me if I was enough. So even though in your life right now, your conscious desire is saying, oh, I really want that romantic relationship. I really want to build this life with this person. I feel I'm good enough. However, you're energetically still connecting to the past. So that past still fuels this big magnet. The first part is to be aware of what's going on. That's not to say that whatever happened in the past, that you're damned and doomed and nothing can change, but you can only make a change when you become aware of something. Once you become aware of it, then you can observe how you're being that current day and start to shift in the moment. This goes back to ABC. Be aware of it. Breathe, stay in your body, help to regulate your nervous system so it doesn't go into a stress response. Because again, this mechanism, it's a self-preservation mechanism out of self-love. If you can start seeing that this way, it can start giving you that momentum. Oh, I actually do love myself. I do value myself. I reasoned as a kid from my past that I wasn't good enough. And so I continue to feel that way. And maybe you're trying to prove it. For me, I was trying to prove to that person that I was romantically interested in my past. If I can prove it to you and earn your love, then I'll feel good enough. If you love me and you want to be in a relationship with me, then I'll feel good enough. But what I was not understanding is that in all those efforts, I just kept replaying the past where I didn't feel good enough, where I continued to feel that my needs weren't met, that there wasn't enough for me, that there was this on and off, this inconsistency, and I thought it was me that was causing that. So I continued to try to earn it, but all the time, what did I do? Because I didn't change the way I felt by disconnecting to the past, I continued to magnetize to me, giant magnet, magnetize to me situations, people, circumstances who energetically lined up. When it comes to everybody as you pushed out, you're not causing other people's behavior. However, everybody as you pushed out, for one, energetically, you're going to connect with people who have most likely an opposite wound. You want to get close, and maybe closeness early on, that was too much and they move away. Or you're afraid to open up and you might get people who are really leechy and they come close to you. So we kind of do this dance so we can resolve the unresolved issues of our past. The more I became aware and started to focus on what I was actually feeling, and then understood, oh my God, I'm still using the reasoning that I did as a kid when I didn't have complex thinking. Oh my God, I've always been enough. Because I saw that the reason I felt that was something that had nothing to do with me. It's as if it's when you're a kid and you're dancing around and having fun and the wind blew and it knocked something over and broke, and you have this association, oh, when I'm having fun, I break things, I'm too much. Things like that can literally be stored in your mind, even though as an adult, you're like, no, the wind blew. That had nothing to do with you having fun. You having fun did not break anything. That was good. It happened to be that a vase broke. And obviously, that's a very simple example. However, there were associations like that in my head that had nothing to do with me. However, was forming my feeling. And that was fueling what I magnetized to me. So the first thing for me was to start to understand, oh, in the past, why is it that I feel this way? And if you're unconscious to this, what do I continue to attract in my life? Maybe it's about money. Maybe you feel like no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, there's never quite enough. If you can take your attention away from the money part and just look at how it makes you feel, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I work, my needs aren't met. There's never enough time for me. And if you can start to see some sort of association early on in you growing up, this can start to help you uncover what you're actually feeling about yourself. Maybe this is about a job and you continue to find bosses that are very overbearing, that are very critical. And if you can just start to not think about that one person, but think about the dynamic. Okay, how do I feel with this? Oh, I feel that no matter what I do, it's not good enough. I feel like I work really hard and they continue to just show me what I did wrong, or they don't trust my ability. Okay, have you ever experienced that before? How does that make you feel about yourself? Because if you can get from the current outside here, the more you start to have compassionate inquiry, as Gabor Mate would say, not why am I like this? He has some great videos online on YouTube that I highly recommend you watch, because one of the things he says is there's two ways to ask the same question. Why am I like this? Why do I keep finding these people? Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? And a compassionate way, which is really what you need. You needed an adult caretaker to take care of you. And right now you're going to have to start doing that to heal that part of you so you feel safe to authentically be yourself. Because until you do that, you'll continue to feel not good enough and put on this fake persona, or who do I feel like I need to be so they'll love me? For me, it was my athletic career. I will be an Olympian. I will be the star athlete, and then people will appreciate, then they'll love me. Because without that, what was I feeling? I wasn't feeling good enough. So no matter who I presented to the world and what sort of awards I got or first places, it didn't override this, because nothing outside of you can change the feeling. And so oftentimes people want that. They want the relationship, they want the money, they want the job, and then they will feel whole and complete. And then they will feel enough because they have proof. But that's not how the universe works. That's not how the quantum model works. The quantum model, energetically speaking, this is the first thing that changes, which produces this result in your outside world. This is your reality right now. So the only way to change that is by changing how you feel. And when you change how you feel, long before you see anything in your outside world change, you change by re-reasoning on what happened to you, and you disconnect energetically from this, and you start really understanding the brilliance and the wisdom and the power and the worth that you really have always had, but you had a misunderstanding early on. You had people who were not able to meet your needs, didn't emotionally have the capacity. That is not a reflection of you. That is a reflection of them. And as you start to realize that, you can upgrade and become your own authority. And when you do that, you shift what fuel you're putting in your magnet, and that can automatically change what you actually draw to you. And if you continue to see a dynamic of the old, and it's somebody who's emotionally immature, or somebody who's emotionally not available, this version of you who feels enough and who values yourself, that will not be attractive. That will not be interesting. So either this person can also shift and upgrade and heal, or you'll actually no longer be interested in this dynamic, and you'll shift and start magnetizing people who are in alignment energetically with how you see yourself. Remember, your thoughts And ultimately, your feelings are your state of being. And whatever that is, it's like placing an order to the universe, your thoughts and your feelings. This is what I am. And the universe is like, okay, no objection. Here is a reflection of that. Here is the equal energetic of those thoughts and those feelings. It's not because that's what you're worth. It's not because that's all your potential. It's simply coming from you. And the more you start to become aware of what that feeling is, start getting curious, compassionate curiosity. Why do I feel like I can't be myself? What fear is coming up if I share this with somebody? Why is it that I keep finding people who are not interested in me? Oh, maybe because I'm so interested in them, I'm actually emotionally unavailable and emotionally disconnecting to myself. So I keep finding people who ghost me because actually I'm ghosting myself. I don't deserve their behavior. However, I've got to look and to see how I'm contributing, how I got here to interact with this dynamic. And remember, A, B, C, become aware of it through compassionate, gentle curiosity. Second thing, breathe. When those feelings start getting overwhelming, somatic work is going to help because early on traumas, your feelings and your thoughts disconnect. So in order to process them, they're going to have to come back together. I highly recommend a somatic therapist to help you with this. However, there's a lot of information out there that can help you, different things you can do to help calm your body, to help regulate your nervous system. Because according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, you cannot create from a state of survival. You can only create from a state where you feel safe. So if unconsciously you're continuing to work, so maybe then something will change outside of you, you're chasing your tail. Okay, if I am worthy, why is it that I continue to work so hard and see no reflection? Do I really feel like I'm worthy? And if I don't feel like I'm worthy and I don't have value, what happened early on to show me that? Because if somebody was an asshole to you, that doesn't mean their opinion and their emotional immaturity has anything to do with you. It actually has way more to do with them and what they lacked emotionally than anything in regard to your potential. The more you can start to see that with your adult complex mind, the more you can start energetically disconnecting, freeing yourself to become sovereign of yourself, meaning your opinion, your vision, your view of yourself is the ultimate one. But there's some distortion, how they treated me early on, who I should be to them, how I should live my life. And it's going to feel that I'm not enough unless I live up to those standards. And when you start to disconnect here, you can actually start to open up an entirely different experience in your outside world. You want a little bit more support on how to cut those energetic cords? This next video is going to break it down even further. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. If you like this video, click like. If you haven't done so, join the community, and I will see you on the next one.